So families who are here, students who are here, staff who are here, and it is warming my heart to see so many co-hosts join Holly and I this week. Holly, let's say hello to them all. Hello.
Hi, guys. It's
let's
so
pretend
good
it's the
to
Brady
see
Bunch.
you.
Thank you for coming. Hello. And what we're here to do tonight is I'm just going to speak for a couple minutes to update any adolescent families who might be tuning in to wonder what's going on. And then we are going to basically turn the show over to the upper elementary guides, along with Jean Peters, elementary program director, to speak directly to elementary upper L families, especially in students who are here. And then just a little ways into this regular forum, you will all be invited, in fact, to join your own classroom Zoom so you can have an individualized Zoom session. So you'll leave this webinar, you'll go to a Zoom that is hosted by the guide in your classroom, and you'll talk a little bit more about specifics. And so with that, here's another thing that I know, and I'm going to make sure that we can do that.
Sam, can you invite Tom to be a panelist, please? He's here.
I absolutely can. And then I'm going to request Maddie B, since you've self-selected your computer into sharing mode, will you be the one who sees that you can share actually the link to this slideshow with everybody who's in attendance tonight? Because that, doing it now, and then again doing it right before we invite everyone to go, that is going to be, let's see, there's Tom. That's going to be how folks can get to the Zoom link of their teacher. But don't go yet, everybody. Don't go yet. Oh, there's Tom F. There we go.
Welcome, Tom.
Okay. And then, Jean, you just interrupt me and tell me if anybody else is needed. So just a quick couple agenda items this week, everybody. First off, our Student Wellness and Equity Coordinator role. Today is the final day to apply for those of you out in the world there who are finishing your applications. That interview committee will engage with folks, I think, starting tomorrow to schedule applications. They've been reviewing applications as they come in. And of course, any applications that come in will be reviewed. And then throughout the month of April, interviews will be happening, looking to engage really so many wonderful applicants for that role. And so there are students, staff, and families involved in that interview process. And I'm excited to see how that gets set up to really support the school well now and into next year. The adolescent update is that we do have an adolescent communication that we are preparing to send to 912 families that will identify some dates and some items to put on the calendar. The summary is that in order to really keep the learning stable for so many students, we are staying in a distance learning, virtual learning model for academic instruction. And we really are looking to go in and schedule ongoing, and I'm using the word regular because what I would like to see are often opportunities for students to be meeting up and making social connections. In specific, I can speak to my own role in meeting with seniors throughout the spring to both plan graduation and make sure folks can convene to do those activities. And then also, there will be a communication from the 7-8 team directly to 7-8 families outlining specifics about what that additional in-person time will look like. My understanding is that that will begin for 7-8 families most starting May 17th, but again, look for a communication from the 7-8 team. And specifically, I know that teachers and all staff are keeping in mind the ideas that we do have academic terms going right now. And so in the interim, we are looking to offer, again, as many ways to make meaningful connections as possible without upending what's working. We are currently at the School Resource Center, the SRC, accepting all adolescent students who want to come. So please email src@greatriverschool.org, look on the website to find the place to communicate with us is another option. But even just emailing office and saying, you know, you'd like to have your student come in is enough. And we do have additional staff who are there to break students into smaller groups and really use all of the current successful mitigation practices to get students learning as much as in community as possible while participating in their classes. With that, I want to pass it off. And Holly, could we drum roll maybe? I don't know where. In any case, you know them, you love them. They are the upper elementary wonders, the upper elementary guides. And I just want to remind everybody, yay! I want to remind everybody that the elementary program in the lower L is running. We have protocols for safety. We have snapshots for safety compliance being used regularly. I want to remind everyone, it is a quarantine. So before this question comes up for your guides, I'm jumping ahead to answer a common question. Yes, we will have a quarantine protocol in place because we are living through a pandemic. We also know that we're watching closely both current variants and we're watching closely all school data available to us. I'm literally calling CIDRAP at U of M often and leaving messages. I am getting responses from them on their take, also the Department of Health. And so what we see is that being in person following our protocols for safety and learning is working to mitigate, reduce, and prevent the spread of any positive COVID viruses. But we will still be using a lot of those protocols, and your teachers will probably explain that. I just wanted to say that before, because that's not a place for your guides to be answering those questions. And we're currently using one quarantine protocol successfully for one lower L classroom. And now there are 5 classrooms with regular testing and mitigation are still in-person learning. So I just am, with deep respect, giving the floor over to Jean Peters and the whole upper L team to take over from here. Thanks, Jean.
Thanks, Sam. Welcome, everyone. I'm Jean Peters. I'm the elementary program director. I use she, her pronouns. I'm thrilled to have you all here this evening to learn more about our return to in-person learning. So as Sam said, we're going to start off sharing some general information, and then you're going to go to your classroom Zoom link to hear more specifics from your guide. And so let's start off by introducing the upper elementary team.
Hi, everybody. My name is Amanda O'Dowd. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the guide in Shingabee Classroom.
Hello, folks. My name is Tom Fent. I use they, them, and he, him, and I'm the guide in Little L Classroom.
Hi, everyone. I'm Bailey Taylor. I use she, her, and I'm the guide in Ottertail.
Good evening. I'm Matt Brossart, and I use he, him pronouns, and I'm one of the adults in Crow Wing Classroom.
Hi, folks. I am Andrea Galdames. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the guide in Blue Earth Classroom.
Hello, everybody. My name is Michael Ritt, and I use he, him pronouns, and I am the guide in Swan River.
So before we jump into the individual parts, here's a quick overview of what we're going to cover. First, we're going to talk about arrival and departure and just some of the logistics and the time frames that will go with that. Then we're going to talk a little bit more in detail about food, snack, and lunch, because those will look different this year than they have in the past. Then we're going to do a more direct talk through of what to bring and what not to bring, because there's been some wonderful questions about that, and that can help us be on the same page. Then we're going to talk about the safety procedures of masks and the flow chart and quarantine, and make space to both see it and verbalize it. Finally, we're going to talk about student support that we're wanting to work with families on, specifically this balancing of independence and community safety, and what families can do to keep that balance the best possible. And then that's when, after that, we will leave and go to classroom-specific Zoom. These will not be breakout rooms. You will have to leave this meeting and hit a link, and those will be linked there, and I'll drop them in the chat again. We do not want to use this space to open up a just a back and forth, because we want to make sure we consolidate the information so that all of the families can have it, and we can kind of have a touchstone. And so if you have questions, we welcome them. We ask that you put them in the Q&A We will collect and send as many answers as we can by the end of the week. Hopefully all of them, but we will answer everything we can by the end of the week so that we all are all on the same page. Let's do it.
Thanks, Maddie. So one of the changes coming up is that we've extended the arrival time at school, so we don't have as many people trying to come into the same space at the same time. So between 8:30 and 8:55 will be drop off, and departure will stay the same. The most important things to consider are to be really ready to get out of the car when you arrive, because we're trying to do it quickly. And that means mask on, goodbyes before you leave, and everything ready to go. Another big change will be coming in through classroom doors for Swan and Blue Earth. And so Little Elk and Crow Wing, Ottertail and Shingabee will still use the same doors, and Blue Earth and Swan will use their classroom doors. We're still going to use the same flag system with the green flag. So if you see the green flag, the elementary doors are available. If you do not make it before 8:55 and the green flag is gone, then just like in the past, the students will go to the office at the front. And pickup will begin at 3:04 when the buses depart. I think those are all of the details. We'll sanitize at the door when children get there. Here are some maps.
All right. As for food, we've got sort of two different zones. One is the lunch logistics. So before lunch, students are going to wash and sanitize their hands, sort of depending on the time scale we've got. We're going to make sure that folks are sort of mixing it up so that they don't get just a big accumulation of sanitizer on their hands. But both will be used both before and after lunch. Students will eat at their home base. That might mean different things in different classrooms, but they will have a specific spot where they're eating. Students who bring a lunch should make sure that all their waste goes home in their lunchbox in order to prevent people bumping into each other at the trash can. You can also order a school lunch. The school lunches can be ordered on the website, as well as I believe we're going to put that in the communications that go home later on. During that lunchtime, students are going to listen to read aloud to minimize maskless interaction, knowing that when folks have a mask off and talking is a way that we can put little COVID particles into the air, wanting to minimize that possibility. And so we'll be listening to audiobooks or podcasts or reading aloud during that time. And folks who are at home doing distance learning can also tune in during that time to help keep that community together, all sort of experiencing the same media. And that means we'll be doing a lot of talking about being social, maybe before lunch, during the morning, or after lunch, or having times for that. But that during lunch is a time where that weirdly isn't what's happening. That's not what's normal for lunch. And yes, order school lunch. It's delicious. So for snack logistics, students will be able to eat a snack. They'll again eat at their home base in their spot. They will, students can bring a snack from home. If your child forgets a snack, we will provide one. It should be a snack that doesn't require any prep and is not very messy at all. Something that's easy to have out, won't take a long time to create and put together. And onward.
So when we're thinking about what we want students to bring into the classroom and what we want them to leave at home, we're really looking at a less is more approach. So we want students to have everything that they need, but not a lot of extra stuff, because we are already managing extra protocols in the classroom. We want to be able to keep things as clean as possible. And so I'll put in a plug to label absolutely everything. We won't be able to have sort of unclaimed things in our regular lost and found or lying around like we have in the past. So please truly label everything. You can go a little overboard if you want to, but everything should come with a label. It will help us keep everybody's belongings with them. So what to bring? Students should bring a snack that was described by Tom, a no mess, no prep snack. Bring their lunch. Bring a water bottle that will go back and forth between school and home on a regular basis to be cleaned. Extra masks, indoor shoes, and gear no matter the weather. So gear appropriate for the weather. We want to utilize our outdoor spaces as much as possible. And then students should also bring back school supplies that they have at home right now. So if they have notebooks, their pencil pouch, any of those kinds of materials should come back to school with them. Things not to bring, as in the past, please don't allow students to bring toys to school. Personal technology and cell phones should stay home. And for your school technology, we'd like you to keep that at home if you have tech from school, just in case a quarantine is necessary. And we'll store it, we would ask you to put it with a quarantine packet that we'll provide and any other supplies needed for quarantine. So that school tech can stay home.
Next up is the most busy slide in the presentation, right? Because it has the most detail, but it is the Minnesota Department of Health decision tree, and it is what we're following at school. I think if I were to point out some key things here to read for yourself, look at the more common symptoms and the least common symptoms and understand what those are, because those are really the drivers of kind of the three kind of main flows of this decision tree. You can see kind of the red triangles in the corner, upper left-hand corner of the three kind of decision tree limbs, if you will. This is what we're following at school and will follow should some of the more common or least common symptoms arise at school. I think one thing to make you aware of is if a child does have symptoms, you would get a call from Dan Wilder, who is one of our health professionals at school, who would be kind of working with the students and informing you and also kind of supporting us through this process of making sure we're following the decision tree. So please, please, please take a look at this, because this is what we use and this is what we will follow when making decisions around symptoms. If you've not seen Mask, hopefully you have, you recognize Jim Carrey in the masks there, but mask logistics, right? Students should bring extra masks and a bag to store old masks in separate from new masks. Students can change their masks as needed. You know, should we have a sneeze or something like that and kids need to change their masks, they certainly can do that. And students and adults should wash masks at home before bringing them back to school. We will always have extra masks on site. We will also have shields if kids want to wear shields. So we will always have masks and shields available for anybody that needs it. We hope students don't forget masks, but we are prepared should they. So that is it for mask logistics.
All right. So normally in Montessori, we really encourage children to take responsibility for preparing themselves to come to school and to be independent in that. We want to build that independence. However, we are in the midst of a pandemic and we are asking that, that adults kind of support your student at home a little bit more than you might normally, specifically with these items. So as was stated, students will be bringing home all of their lunch waste into their lunchbox, which means they need to clean it out at night and then repack it in the morning. And so making sure that their lunch is cleaned out and repacked is important. And then our water bottles, we're asking that children bring those home every day and thoroughly wash them as a safety precaution. And so having worked with students for a long time, their version of washing is sometimes a little bit different than what an adult's version of washing might be. So if you can make sure that your child's water bottle is washed thoroughly and properly and then sent back with them the next day, that's also kind of closing that loop, making sure that before they come back to school that they have everything they need, including their water bottle. And then masks, as Michael said, we are asking that students bring masks with them, and we would like those to be washed either every night at home and sent back the next day. So depending upon how many masks you might have, you might wash them every night, or maybe you have a plethora and you can rotate them. But we are asking that every night they come home and then the next day they're sent back with clean masks. And I think we're asking for 3 masks minimum to come every day so that kids can change them throughout the day and then put their dirty or used ones in to kind of a separate place to go home and then be washed. And so we're just asking for a little extra support to make sure that students are being responsible with these specific things to keep everybody safe and everyone healthy.
Thanks, everyone. Now is the time for you all to leave this and go into the individual classroom Zoom links. And goodbye. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Chloe. See you soon.
Thanks, everybody.
And for folks who are still sitting around here, Jean and I will stay and support whoever needs help. But go to that document that's been shared and click on your classroom's link. If you have 2 classrooms, keep the document open and start with the one that you want to go to first. All right, wonderful. So I see some questions here, Jean. I'm going to make sure they're collected.
Yeah, there's some great questions, and I think we have that information readily available.
Absolutely. And one other item for families who are still here just on their way out, we will send out other methods where you can ask questions too.
I just reposted the link, so just click on that and then go to the last slide, and all of the classroom links are right there. That's the Shingabee link, and I'm about to post the Blue Earth link. Does anyone else need a link?
Let's see, I'm just going to go through who is left in our attendee list. So the folks who are still here, you may have questions that are not related to the elementary evening. And I do have a little bit of time, so maybe at 6:35, if you want to go get a drink or go to the bathroom, I'll be here to answer those questions then. And then there's just 4 folks left in the waiting room or in the participant list. So if you need a help with a link, let us know and we can help you out.
For those of you that just joined, yes, we did record this and we will share it out to everyone.
Yep. I need some background music, Gene, to fill the space, the audio space.
You know what? Have you ever heard of Billy McLaughlin?
Oh, yeah.
So his youngest child was in my children's house. And
Whoa!
he used to do music for me in my classroom at 2 different schools. He did it for music for children's house and elementary. And I was listening to him earlier and it was quite lovely. I might even still have it up. This is my favorite Billy McLaughlin song. Let's see.
I thought you were going to break out the vinyl, Gene.
I don't think I have any of his on vinyl. I have live recordings from different shows though.
Nice.
We'll do Sunshine just because it's spring.
Just you, Montessori materials, Billy McLaughlin in the background.
I just heard that people are not able to get into Amanda's, or no one is in Amanda's link, but they're not coming back here.
Okay, the Shingabee link.
I can repost it.
I'll send it to Amanda too, make sure she's going to the right place. Let's see. Okay, well, I see at least Dawn and Neela or their family are signed in as attendees right now. So Dawn and Neela, if you need help, please put into the chat or even to the Q&A your request for help, and we can help get you to the right spot.
It's very soothing music, isn't it? I'm still getting a message from Amanda.
No one's there?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But I can't check the link because I'd have to sign out of this. But no one has come back here either, so.
Jessica Coburn, I see you're here, and Neela, I see you're here. If you need links, let us know. And if you just joined and you're not sure where to go, let us know what classroom your students are in, and we can share the link with you. Give us a
Which
classroom.
link do you need? Oh. Here's the link for Shingaby. Please come back if you have trouble getting in. Sam, they're all where they're supposed to be.
It's a miracle, Jean.
I know.
Cool. All right. Well, are the guides recording their sessions too? Okay, cool.
No, but they can collect, like they've already sent home information and they'll send it home again.
Okay.
So,
And it's recording. So if you're watching this, everybody, you've come to the end. If you've watched this long, you were waiting for some kind of special ending. So jazz hands and thank you. And there isn't any more information here, but there is in the email sent to you by your classrooms. So thanks, Jean.
thanks, Sam.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Everest.